Hello and welcome back. This is Christy with Foresting the Soul, and I don't know what kind of luck of the draw I have struck, but I am sitting here with Dean Z's one and only Santa sitting across from me right now. So I'd like to welcome Matthew Hamp to Foresting the Soul today.
Well, Christy, hello, thank you. It's a joy to be here. Ever since you asked, I've been looking forward to being here, and it's kind of fun to start talking Santa earlier in the year.
Yeah, for sure. And this all happened organically. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
met because you volunteered
Yes,
at the Psychedelic Society of the Ozarks first inaugural conference that we
such a
hosted.
great event.
It
Can I
was.
plug it? If you didn't go
Absolutely, talk about
if you
it.
didn't go this year, make sure you go next year. And I don't know how you did it for $50 per person.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
we really wanted to make it accessible
Mm-hmm.
to as many people as we could, and it was our first year, so we had no
Um,
idea what the turnout was going to be or the who was going to be interested in it. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek topic for Springfield, Missouri.
oh yeah.
So all the things, but yeah, we're looking forward to taking all the things that we learned
Mm-hmm.
this year and making the event even better next year.
Great turnout.
But you were so excited to volunteer, and then I finally got to meet you that day, and I think we've just kind of felt a vibe, a connection
Absolutely.
since then,
Mm-hmm.
and so you've been able to join us over here at the studio for our Gathering of the Den
Mm-hmm.
evenings. And well, I guess the first one really because it was about fasting.
Yes.
My friend Shanti had come in here to we're starting a fasting support group
Mm-hmm.
because part of what has caused all of these beautiful things that have been happening organically and I've been taking action on is because I haven't had a meal in 13 days.
It frees up time when you're not eating.
Doesn't it? You did it for 5 days,
I
so you
did.
know.
I did. It really it frees up time. It frees up brain space. It
Yeah,
really
all that.
declutters.
Yeah, all of that energy isn't going to digestion.
Hmm.
And now I'm definitely like in the throes of autophage, and so my healthy cells are eating my zombie cells, so my
Hmm.
body is repairing, and I'm in
Hmm.
full blown ketosis. So I'm really bright minded and talking really fast, probably, but I'll try to slow it down a little bit for the
That's
sake of
fine.
our
It's
listeners. No, we got to talking about all kinds of things, and you shared with me one of the things that blew my mind is that you used to be an AG minister.
I did. I did many, 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 many years ago. Yeah, I was licensed through the Assemblies of God. Um, went to Evangel here and married an Evangel girl and got married. We're living in the area. Was an Assemblies of God minister. Was a youth pastor out in Dodge City, Kansas. Um, did some ministry in the area here, and then from there we. I don't know if you're familiar with Stained Glass Theater.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it used to be here in Springfield. It's now in
Uh-huh.
Ozark. I was the chaplain there for a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah, through
Okay.
that. Um, and then our life took the more of the Mennonite route, which
That's
that's a
crazy.
I know it's a totally different journey. But through that, I actually pastored Good Shepherd Church of the Brethren here. That used, I don't know if it's still here in town or not, but there used to be a Brethren church here in town. Pastored that for 2 years,
Okay.
and so that's kind of the mix.
Yeah, well, and that's why my ears perked up because I was raised Assembly of God, and interestingly enough, and I know, and we'll get a little bit, we'll get into it as the story progresses, but I swore off God altogether. I went
Yes.
atheist after
Yes.
I was able to, because it never resonated with my spirit, in my soul. Like I felt like it was more of a condemnation, so many rules, and then the things that I was witnessing, which people are going to be people, and I can't, it's not fair to judge anything, right? But it's not fair to have an awareness of somebody not living their truth or being, that walking example of Christ and then
Right.
preaching it out the other side of their mouth. But as a
Right.
13-year-old, that's what I would see. And I was like,
Right.
gosh, I don't want to be like that.
Right.
And so the moment I moved out of the house and I stopped going to church. I said, I don't believe in God, So it's kind of like that pendulum, right?
Yeah.
So the pendulum swung the whole different direction, and then now I'm so grateful that I've found myself in that place of balance where I'm spiritual but not religious.
I love that phrase. Yeah, when I went through my divorce, because I had been pummeled by God.
Yeah.
And I'm doing air quotes
Oh,
for those that
yeah.
can't see it.
Yeah.
But God, using God as a whipping post is a great thing that abusive relationships do. And for anybody that's in that situation, there's ways out, and it's not God, it's not source, it's not spirit that's doing it. It's man-made that they're using on you.
Would you say maybe ego?
It's ego.
Yeah.
It's ego, and and it's a control thing.
Yeah.
You
Side.
Yeah, and so, but I was like you, Christy. I got divorced, and just didn't want anything to do with God or anything religious or anything like that. And it's been a journey. I love that phrase, spiritual but not religious.
Mm-hmm.
And I find faith to be a personal thing, to the point. Gosh, people want to say, "Oh, you're not doing it right," but faith is so personal. What is me? What is my faith? Can look completely different from yours, but we're still on the same path.
Mm-hmm.
So who are we to say you're not doing it right?
Right.
But what's most important is that one-on-one connection to source, whatever name you wanna give it. I had when I was in my early 40s, I was a unit manager at a nursing rehab facility in Rockford, Illinois. We did like ambulatory rehab, if they'd had hip surgery, knees, shoulders, and I managed the unit of nurses. And it was a Friday morning. It was working that morning, and all of a sudden I had my left arm went numb, started tingling, and it felt like Godzilla had grabbed my chest. Thankfully, I was in the area they call the bullpen, which is the front area where the nurse is stationed, and also serendipitously, I had just restocked the crash cart that morning because I had a massive heart attack. Well, it was
is this
actually
your NDE that you're going to talk about?
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this was the. It was actually listed as a myocardial event because
Okay.
what happened is my heart seized, just like if you were to make a big fist, it just stopped, just boom, done, collapsed. They got me on the counter and I left. I mean, I was in my body, hurt really bad, and then now I am standing or floating above myself in the room. And I'm watching them work on me, and I'm really pissed because it was a brand new. Dickies had that new burgundy.
They cut it open, didn't
Yeah,
they?
those bastards. I'm sorry, Santa can't say that.
Yeah, you can.
It was, but yeah, they cut it, and I remember I'm in the room, I'm watching, I'm like, geez, that was like $23
Oh
back
my
in the
gosh.
90s, or in the early 2000s, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I'm in the room. I didn't go anywhere. I was just right there in the room. But that transition from here to there, it's just that veil is so close, I've noticed. And you're surrounded by love. At least I was. I hear other people's NDEs and their experiences, and it follows their faith. For me, as not believing in anything really, um, I was just surrounded by love, and it felt like about half the weight of warm pool water, but it permeated you. Like you were in the water, but it was also passing through you. It was what you were
Immersed
breathing.
in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was such a great amount of compassion that it left me changed. When I came back, I knew that there was a God or source or whatever term you
Yeah.
as a
Fill in the
listener.
blank.
Yeah, but I also knew this source had no ill intentions towards us, no desire to send us off to hell, no desire to fold, spindle, or mutilate us in any spiritual fashion. It is just compassion and desire for our greatest good. Um, so I came to knowing God was rooting for me, and that's what started me on my quest. That's also that transition is brought up on my divorce. I came back, and my ex would actually tell people that it wasn't me that came back. She thought I got possessed. It was a little awkward.
Possessed by love.
Yeah.
I'll take that possession any day of the week.
So that started the beginning of that end, and it just started me on my journey, because up until then, I'd gone through, we'd gone through some Lutheran Assemblies of God, Mennonites, that created terribly, and I think we were on like a Baptist path or independent Baptist path there for a little while.
Reminds me of
What?
reminds me so much of my family. I mean, I think, I was raised Assembly of God,
Right.
but then they've gone through the gamut. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I stopped keeping track.
Oh, yeah.
Like, trying to find everything out here that's right here within us, right? Anyway,
Yeah, and we're all like Dorothy. You've had it all along.
you've had it all along. That's right. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Let me click
In
my
my
ruby
heart.
Crocs together. Yeah, and so with that experience, that started my spiritual journey, and it left me with trying to figure out where to go from here.
Yeah.
The next phase of it for me was going through divorce, figuring out life like that, and then my dad came down with cancer, lung cancer, about 10 or 11 years ago. So I moved back to Rockford, Illinois, to be with my dad his last 9 months, and was able to be his caregiver. And gosh, Christy, is cancer horrible? Definitely. But was that amazing?
Yeah.
Definitely. I love hospice. I love being able to help my dad pass in his environment.
The way he wanted to.
Where he wanted to, with his Cubs. He was a huge Cubs fan. I even had it in his obituary that he's still watching the Cubs. And so I was able to be there for that. And then he asked if I would stay to help with Mom. And we discussed off mic that, I figured. Go ahead.
No, she's only going to be around for another 6 months,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, because they'd been married 63 years, I think, at the time. And I thought, okay, well, yeah, she only got 6 months. And then I've only got 6 months. No. I just lost my dad. I can't lose my mom. So I called friends and said, Mom's, whatever we're doing, wherever we're going, I'm bringing Mom.
Yeah.
And if I can't bring Mom, I'm not coming. And they're like, bring her. We have a plate. And it was kind of awkward there, because I think they like Mom more than they like me. And Mom was all game. We got her back active in life. Took her to the no-kill shelter and found her Foxy. Was the dog we found for her.
Companion.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Foxy was just incredibly ugly. She looked like she was made with spare parts.
Oh,
Loved her.
love those kinds of dogs.
Yeah, and perfect for mom.
Yeah.
I had made arrangements at the shelter to just have Foxy in the room because mom had the heart. If I walked her through, we would come home with 18, however many dogs was in there,
Absolutely.
18, 20, 30. We've adopted them all
Yep. Yep.
now. So it was just, her and Foxy, and we got another 9 years out of her.
Incredible.
And she made it to her 95th birthday. That Friday, we celebrated her 95th birthday. And then I went to work. I worked overnight, or from 2 p.m. to about 1 or 2 in the morning, driving truck for a local company up there. Got home about 2 in the morning, and she's like, "Matthew, is that you?" Like, she did every time. Like, "No, Mom, I'm a robber." I said, "No, it's me." I said, "It's Saturday, so we'll go to the dog park." I said, "I'll probably be up around 10. We'll go to the dog park." And there's a couple other things we had on the list that we were going to do some shopping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. I love you, Matt. And I went down the next morning, came up, and Elvis had left the building. So I had, thankfully, to be able to say, I know I said that last, I love you. I agree. I realized it was habitual because that was always our banter that at night. But to know,
Oh, such peace.
yeah,
Such peace. And you got 9 more years.
I got 9 more years.
And I think that is a testament in and of itself, that connection.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Connection versus isolation.
Which seemed like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Connection can make such a huge difference, and that ties full circle into how I see Claus, how I see Santa Claus.
So tell me how you, how did you start to become Santa Claus? And don't worry, listeners, I'll have a picture of us, and you're, the full costume Santa is going to be you've probably already seen in the podcast cover episode for, but anyway.
Yeah, what really kicked it off for me, I have, over the years, everybody plays Santa. You put the red suit on and you happen to be the local fat guy. Boom, you get to be Santa Claus. But for me, what really kicked it off was West Side Showroom in Rockford. It was a small, really obscure, tiny little theater that was on
kind of like the Moxie Cinema here in town, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess that's cinema. I guess maybe Springfield Little Theater.
Yeah,
it's theater.
Yeah, but tiny. It only seats 60 people, and it does shows that most people wouldn't want to go see.
Right. Kind of tongue in cheek.
Tongue in cheek, yeah. Like a Psycho Beach Party was one that they did. Milk Lemonade. If you're not familiar with it, look it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love the little theater. Mike Werkel, who I think his stage name now is Epic Jones. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure I give that the right shout out.
Yeah.
He's the founder and director of it, and he and I have become friends over the years, because I'm shy like that. And COVID hit. So the theater had rented a space on the west side of Rockford. They finally found a space right in the arts area in downtown Main Street.
Prime location.
Yeah, because it's it's around the artsy, craftsy people where you
the audience.
you got the vibe.
Is right
you got
there.
the vibe. And so they found this building, and I helped with remodeling it, carrying stuff and all that, and just getting it ready to launch. And right as the season was going to start, boom, the COVID hit. Mm-hmm. And so everybody's life turned upside down. The theater, now they had the financial commitment of a mortgage, and everybody was panicked because you couldn't do shows. Right. Didn't know what was going to be. So fast forward to the summer of that year, it was July. My 2 youngest daughters were wanting to do photography up in the Lake Geneva area, do Christmas shoots, to try to make some extra income. And I said, great, I'll get a Santa suit and we can do Santa standing off in the background. or as we affectionately called, creepy Claus. The
Totally.
the lurking in the background.
He's watching you while
Yes.
you sleep at night.
Yes, but it's okay. He's got a big ass red suit on. Without the suit, it's creepy, right?
Right.
Just like want to sit on my lap.
Right.
Yeah, and the suit just really makes it so much better.
Right.
So we were talking about that, and I talked to Werkel. I said, dude, let's sit down, because I would like to develop a character to Santa Claus. I don't just want to be a dude in a suit, because because unless you have character and intent and develop something, yeah,
the key word.
yeah, that's where you transition from being dude in suit to Claus.
Yes.
And so he and I sat down and we were talking about my character development and things that we wanted to include in Claus. And as we were talking about that, Mike says, we could save the theater here. And
Yeah.
and I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we'll just do a safety Santa if you're up to it. And I said, yeah, I'm game. He said, we'll pay scale. And I said, dude, don't rob. I said, don't rob me of this. I will not take a dime, because I want to give this. To get paid for it felt like it was taking that blessing away from me. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to be able to give this to the theater that's given so much to me over the 3 years that I knew it. So we developed a safety Santa, which was basically a Santa in a phone booth. And it had a curtain, so when they walked in, they couldn't see me. But it was, they'd come in and we had it taped off, so you stood 6 feet away from the Santa booth. And they had a microphone, I had a microphone. And they'd ring the little doorbell. And then I'd open the curtain and say, well, hello, Merry Christmas to you. And they got to see Santa. And then from there, the next room over, Michael had designed, think 50s seafoam green and cream Maytag appliance. Okay. With a big screen, like it was a refrigerator with a big screen in front of it. And inside of it was an elf. And they had one of 3 buttons that they could select, and each button would create a different series of Christmas tunes. And at the end of the little 10-minute routine, out popped their gift that the parents had prepaid for ahead of time. So we set this up, and the first weekend, as far as we know, we were the only Santa happening in town. The news station picked up on it, stopped by and did a news thing on us, and we booked out. I think, if I remember right, we'd have to ask Michael. If I remember right, I think we booked out. We added extra Sundays and extra times to each day to get everybody in. Anyhow, long story short, it saved the theater. It brought the income in that was able to, just a beautiful, but it was just the beautiful, the beautiful thing of being able to help it turn that corner. And during that time, my moment where I really feel like I became Claus was, because you're in a booth, the curtains were closed, so I couldn't see who was walking up. You just hear the doorbell. I'd open up the curtain and say, well, hello, Merry Christmas, or my Merry Christmas, or whatever greeting it was. Mm-hmm. And the couple came in. It was a younger couple, and I think the girls were like 4 and 6, and they were in their little peppermint outfits, the candy striped peppermint outfits, adorable. Had the shoes, had the little candy canes sticking out of their hair and the ribbons and bows, just Christy, they were just so adorable. Yeah. And the mom and dad are standing back there, and they're in their 20s, just a young couple trying to make it through COVID. Yeah. Ragged, everybody had that look during that time. And anyhow, and this has dirty words in it, just if anybody's sensitive. So the curtains open. Merry Christmas. Oh, you two look adorable. And the dude says, fuck me. I'm like, well, no, that's not on the list. Oh, that's extra. And the wife nudges him, and he's pointing at me. You know, we're 6 feet apart, and he's pointing at me, and he's like, fuck me. And I'm,
Oh gosh.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of Claus.
Right,
you
yeah,
know?
no.
No.
Yeah. There's other apps for that.
Yeah. Candy canes after dark.
Right.
And his wife nudges him, and she says, no. And he goes, no, the motherfucker looks like him. And I tell you, that's probably the best.
That is hilarious. In front of his sweet two little
Oh,
girls
yeah.
that are trying to have a Christmas experience.
Yes.
Fuck me.
Yeah. So I was looking forward to that Yelp review. Yes, motherfucker.
Yes, motherfucker looks like Santa. And you do. I mean,
it's it was, but that's the moment. And Mike,
you became.
Yeah, and Mike happened to be off to the side when that happened because I could see him peeking around, and they go into the next room. He comes back and not a word said. He just reaches in, rubs my shoulders, moves on. Like, okay, we hit it, brother.
Yeah.
We hit it.
Yeah.
So that's what started that. I did the Santa shoot for my daughters, and then right after that is when Mom passed, and my goal has always been that once I was no longer needed in Rockford, Illinois, I'm coming back to Branson. For some reason, I'm drawn to Branson, Missouri.
Yeah.
Love the little town. Fell in love with it when I was at Evangel many years ago with the Swing brothers, my two roommates, and just always wanted to be back. So Mom passed that March, and this is a quick timeline. So Mom passed in 2021, I guess. Yeah, because it was February 2021. That March was my youngest son's Nick's spring break. So I came down, and really not much going on in Branson. Dean Z was the only one risking it, you know. So, or anything at Clay Cooper's theater was willing to risk it.
Right.
And so I got front row seats, ponied up the big bucks, and our front row seats were far right hand stage. If you've been to the theater, Delta Tones are on the far right hand side of the stage, which Delta Tones at the time, or still is, it's Steffi, Dean's wife, and then two other ladies. The current Delta Tones are Steffi, Kiki, and Chelsea Boyd Odom. But anyhow, we went and saw it, and I'm sitting there, and I loved it. I noticed them, and like we discussed, it appeared they noticed me too, because I look like this.
You're a little distinguished.
Yes. Like that MFer. And so anyhow, just loved the show. If you haven't seen it, whether I was his Santa Claus or not, just love it. And didn't think anything of it. Went on, took care of Mom's estate. Finally, in June, was able to move down to Branson and make that transition. And if I can fast forward a year, because it's kind of like the blur it was. So lost Mom that February of, I think it was 2021. Fast forward in less than a year, same funeral home. We're now burying my brother because COVID got him.
Okay.
And that one hurt. I mean, it hurt losing Mom, but losing my brother meant that I no longer had any family. You know, the family I knew growing up. Everybody's gone. You know, I had no one. My brother and I always send stupid stuff together to each other. I mean, just if the FBI ever got a hold of our memes, they would just incarcerate us because it's just stupid brother nonsense.
Yeah.
And so, he passed, and I had a mental meltdown. I don't know how else to describe it. I know that there's probably better terms for that, but my brain unraveled to the point that I panicked. I got a hold of Melissa Hearn, who has uh, a counseling service over, it's now in Kimberling City. Um, amazing, amazing soul. She's been through it all. You know, she recovered drug dealer. I mean, any bad thing you've ever done, she's
Those
already.
are the best kind of counselors.
Oh my gosh!
Mm-hmm.
And I sent her. I was trying to call, because it was. Um, I still had insurance through my job, but you know, it just didn't cover much. And called, left messages, called, and nobody was responding. And all of a sudden, Melissa at 9:15 that night sends back. She says, I am booked up for like 6 months. I am so sorry. I'll let you know if I find anybody. And I'm like, no, that's fine. And I'm like, okay, well,
But
crap.
it's not fine.
No, it's yeah, you know, the nice guys, it's fine, but it's like, okay, well, we're just gonna raw dog this from here, I guess. And then 2 minutes later, she says, you know what? Thursday night, if you can make it at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m., I'll stay. Let's do this.
She felt you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Oh.
we showed up, and I'm so glad she didn't record that session, because you ever thrown a super ball into a little real small room and it hits all the walls all the time? My brain was everywhere. With the greatest fear is I was losing me. I feel like the gift that God gave me was a really strong brain. And all the years I drove truck, I had a concern of going mind numb from monotony.
Yeah.
And so I always did things that would encourage thinking and moving beyond and stuff. And here it was just my greatest gift was going away. And Melissa was there to say no, you know, and she helped unravel everything. But not only unravel everything, she turned it. You know, and we're talking about community and connection. In isolation, if we stopped the story here and said isolation, Christy, I probably would have ended it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not. And if anybody's at that point, please reach out. There's help. There's
Absolutely.
resources. Oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
you know, the you might feel alone. You are not. They're here. We're here.
Yep. Consider this the porch light.
Yes, absolutely, and it's better than Motel 6. So, since she reached out and had community, she said, "Okay, what don't you want back?" She says, "You know, I know it sucks, and I know you're terrified, and this is not an easy thing to do. But Matthew, you're here. You've made it. So what do you want to be when you grow up?"
Right. Reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
You know, I'm in my worst, or what I feel like was my worst, darkest moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, it really is. I agree, but okay, we're here. So where do you want to go from here? You know, it's like Iron Man at the end of the Avengers. So you want to get shawarma? You know?
Right. Right.
And that gift that she gave me has been amazing. You know, as I've gone through and being able to rebuild, you know, it's made a huge gift. And fast forward now, a couple months from that meltdown, now I am trying to recover. They've taken away my medical card because of the mental breakdown, so I can't drive truck. I had some money saved up, so I'm no income, nothing going on. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, because Steffi Z, Dean's wife, and I had Facebook messaged because she and my daughters had some similar interests, so I connected them.
Yeah.
on some stuff, and she and I had bantered back and forth on different, she'd post stuff, I'd post comments, and there'd been a friendship building there, and she said, "Maddie, you want to be our Santa?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." She says, "Have you ever done Santa?" "Yeah. Matter of fact, yeah."
Yeah.
A little bit.
Uh-huh.
And so that was my first year on stage as being Santa. And,
How was that? Were you
well,
nervous or?
Dean Z, Steffi Z, the whole crew are just amazing people. They've accepted me as fan. They've actually adopted me to where when there's an event.
Again? You've been adopted twice in your
now.
life?
Yeah, when there's events, I get invited. And it's family stuff. It's not just. Yeah. It's just so cool that they've adopted me like that. I tribute them. They don't take any credit for it. I tribute them for really helping my recovery. To get way out of my comfort zone. Each time that whole season, I would stand backstage before it was my time for the reveal, and just almost a panic attack. Because it's.
How many people do they normally perform for?
Anywhere from 300 to 400 to 1,800.
Oh my goodness.
And so I'm backstage, I'm getting ready to walk out, and I'm like, okay, Dean and Steph think I can do this. They said I should be here. It's okay for me to be here. It's like I'm like, well, Mom and Dad said, and so that
all those conditioning patterns running through the loop.
That built the confidence. And I'd love to go back and see the deer in the headlight look I had the first couple of times I walked out. Like,
Yes. This is way different than one kid or parents pushing a button and unveiling a curtain.
But now I really love the reveal. Where they hit you with a spotlight at Santa, but not for my sake. It's for when that light hits, I can feel my spirit fill that room.
Yes. And I want you to expand on what your meaning of Santa Claus is versus...
Absolutely.
Because it resonates with my spirit so hard. Seriously.
Yeah, the Miracle of 34th Street, the original one, just because I'm a black and white kind of guy. That Santa Claus, they wanted him to be commercial. But if you watch the movie, his thing was connecting with people anywhere, anytime, at any level that they're at. And I believe Santa Claus is connection, compassion, and connection. And so as I'm now at the theater and the lights hit, my intention that I fill the room with is that everyone knows that they're loved, that they're connected. And I know Santa is a mythical being, but Santa sees them. They matter. I know other professional Santas, and they think I'm a little odd for thinking like that. And I know some that are where I learned it. But just being able to share that with that many people. And I only make contact with 20, 30 people as I'm going up and down the aisles, handshakes and candy canes. Mm-hmm. But being able to share that and for Steph and Dean to give me that platform to share that, I think that's done a lot to heal my heart too over the time and help find what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
So that's, but Claus is the compassion. But that's also why you don't see me really anywhere else. Unless it's a friend's project. Like last week, Sean, who does the Buford T. Justice for the Smokey and the Bandit tribute, they had a Trans Am gathering last weekend, and they asked Santa to come out and judge cars.
Nice.
So I do that, but as far as the like the mall Santa or anything like that, I don't do that. I am not called to that.
That commercialized
Yeah,
Santa.
that commercialized Santa. I enjoy the compassionate Claus, the connective Claus, the community Claus,
Yeah.
which Dean and stuff give me the permission and platform to do that. Um, but then, if there's friends that have things come up and it sounds right, I do it. Like we're doing a thing. You and I have a project together,
Yeah.
possibly in November.
Yeah.
That was just that was right.
Yeah.
It was the right thing to do. And I've got a couple other little pet things that come up with that. But as far as, I have agents and stuff call me, and that's not why I'm here. It's
Right.
not my interest.
Right.
Yeah.
But I resonate with that because I don't even celebrate Christmas, and it's and I think some of that, oh gosh, we did for years because of our daughter, right? And
Right.
so we'd decorate the tree and have the family traditions and do the things, and each year it just kind of kept losing its value as I would notice, because I'm a pretty aware person, and I'm pretty sensitive to energies, and I let's face it, like marriage counseling for Curtis and I, premarital counseling,
Right.
The issue on the table was I didn't want children because I didn't feel comfortable bringing a child into this world because I wasn't quite sure where this world would be years from now.
Right.
And this is 26 years ago, 27 years ago, or 25, I guess, married. But I that's what I started seeing more, and I can still see it today. And as a business owner, there's the pressure to run a sale, and do the Black Friday and the this or that, and it's like to encourage people to buy, and buy the toys, and I have a niece who has toys that, or I should say a niece and nephew, they have toys that they just box up and throw away because they're just too much. You can have too much of a good thing, and and you lose the value of what exact thing you're talking about, which is love and compassion and connection. And it becomes this busy holiday. I have clients that are stressed the fuck out because of all the things they have to do and all the things they have to buy. And this time of year becomes double hard for people. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's double hard because you're overextending yourself trying to fit the cultural norm, and it's even more isolating. This is the loneliest time of the year. This is when suicides skyrocket.
People thinking about their lost loved ones.
Yes, yeah.
That they used to do family traditions with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. I wrote this week. It was just during one of my quiet times. But you were talking about, owning a business and the struggles and everything like that. And I think you and I both have kind of gone through this.
Yeah.
But I stopped playing for points and started playing for the love of the game. It's to me, it's not the finances. Yeah, finances. Yeah, we got to make some money, but what inspires your soul? What brings you joy? And for me, to be Dean Z Santa Claus, that inspires my soul. That brings me joy. I just it's coming up on a year now, started working for my son and his wife. They're out in Denver.
They're doing some big work.
Yeah, they are, and that inspires.
Courtney and Taylor, right?
Courtney and Taylor, yes. And the grand hamsters. My last name's Hamp, so all the grandbabies are hamsters. They're just doing so well out there. But what was I gonna say? Playing, for the love of the game.
Yeah.
They do AI. They fix AI. So if somebody has a big AI problem, they're the people you go to fix.
Like big scale.
Yeah,
We're not talking like ChatGPT didn't make the image that I wanted. We're talking like big scale.
Yeah, like public schools.
Yeah.
You know, they step in and help with that, and their service is available. Contact me. I
Yeah,
hook you up.
there you go. Put it in the notes.
See if we can get you a family discount. But they needed somebody to do the media side of the social media side of it. And I'm like, I'm a truck driver. What do I know? But they know years back in the 70s and 80s, and even a little bit at the 90s, I was on the air here at KADI.
You were on the air?
Yeah,
I was. I mean, you said you were in radio and TV, but you didn't actually tell me you were a DJ on a radio station.
Oh, yeah. Well, I
Okay.
started out when I was 15.
Okay.
This was back in the 70s up in Rockford. We had a Christian radio station, WQFL.
There's that radio voice.
Yes.
No wonder it sounds so good.
Yeah, the old 70s sing song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was WQFL, small Christian station up in Rockford, and part of the Assemblies of God church that I was first assembly that I was attending at the time, and I got hired when I was 15. They needed somebody to babysit the machines on Fridays and Saturdays nights, so you work from midnight to 8 a.m. And God bless my parents, because for like 3 or 4 months they drove me down there until I got my driver's license. So that was my start in radio. So I did that. I've done, I think, like anybody that's ever been in radio in this area, probably did a stint at KTXR when it was the Gentle Giant.
The Gentle Giant. I remember that.
Giant of the Ozarks. Yes. And then when KADI first started with Daryl and Carlo, I was a Saturday guy, a Saturday evening shift. And then when R.C. Amer took it over, for a short time, I was Matt in the morning and did some production management and stuff. Okay. So anyhow, back a little bit of radio background.
Yeah.
So Courtney and Taylor are like, well, you've got media background. It's just different.
Yeah.
So I have, for the last year, I have been, as we were talking about earlier, failing as fast as I can and learning all the things to do wrong to learn this. And it's really...
and you're doing tutorial videos, right?
Yeah. He does, Courtney, once a week on Wednesdays at noon Mountain Time, 1 o'clock our time. It's a free live Zoom class where he does an AI coding build, 5 coding build, and shows you, the command prompts that do it properly, and how it screws up, how it fixes it, things to look out for. And it's just a free class. He felt like he wanted to give that back to everybody. And then what I do is I'll take that class and convert it into our YouTube channel. So we've got standalone tutorials. We've got...
What's that channel's name?
It's opichi.ai. OPICHI.
Okay.
Yeah, if they go to YouTube and just Google search Opichi, OPICHI, they'll see the channel. And if they wanted to learn AI coding and fix problems, it's great. He does a complete, which this one really blew up for us. He shows how to start it in Replit, and this is probably going to sound like gibberish to some people. You start it online in Replit. You're able to use GitHub Desktop, bring it down to your desk, and use much more powerful tools to fix your coding, and then send it back up to sell it.
Okay.
And he's got to
Love it.
Put it all together.
Ingenious.
So, and we've got customers that are actually creating their own apps and businesses doing it. And I'm like,
as you just spoke, I just thought of 2 people that needed to know about it. So,
yes.
Yeah. I mean,
it's really great. And with AI, it's a matter of how to ask it properly. Put the right information
Yeah, the
in.
prompts. It's all about the prompts. I've dabbled in it a little bit, but
yeah.
You ask it the right way, and it'll give you the output that you want. But like with anything else, right?
Just, ask nicely.
Ask nicely. Bat your eyelashes,
I don't have the red suit on, so I can't.
Yeah, right.
No magic today. But it's just been fun, and that's been an interesting thing that I've working on. Imposter syndrome. I think all of us.
Oh gosh, I've been practicing for over 23 years now almost.
Right.
And it's still a thing. Like,
No,
But
okay.
it's not as much of a thing as it used to be because I am working on my own, like putting aside some old conditioning, thought patterns, and
Mm-hmm.
chatter and noise, and making friends with that.
Mm-hmm.
Taking that shadow side by the hand and loving it instead of trying to resist it, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm learning that.
One of my friends, Audie, a lot of people know her as Corey J. She's an incredible lyricist and musician here in town. And we were in Peru together. And she has a voice that you would not believe. She's actually the inspiration behind me changing the private group that I host on Facebook from Cacao with Christy to
Mm-hmm.
Be a Werewolf. Then.
Yes.
Because she
Oh.
sang a song, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
She sang a song in the Maloka as we were coming out of an ayahuasca journey that just blew my mind. And but she also co-facilitated a retreat with me back in August, and which happened to be when I literally felt my throat chakra activating further, which was beautiful. Which is why I'm behind the mic again.
Right.
But she made a comment then that was beautiful, and it was let fear ride.
Yeah.
So, fear is always going to be there. We're always going to, it's just there, and it's part of our ego. It's trying to protect us, and it's just what's doing its job.
Mm-hmm.
And so for years, I've gone to all kinds of ceremonies and whatnot, and we get to the end of it, write down on a piece of paper what you want to release, and I want to release fear, let it go. And you can't fucking release it.
No.
It's always going
Right.
to be there.
Right.
You have to make friends with it. And so, as she put it, let it take the passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it take the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
But let it take the passenger seat, and maybe reach over and pat it on the shoulder every now and again and thank you for letting me know that I'm riding someone's ass in front of me, kind of like a backseat driver would do. But
Right.
I've got it. I've got control of this. And that has been one of the most profound things for me to just accept these fearful things and just move through it. I mean,
Love it. I'm working on that right now.
Well,
'Cause
some days are better than the other. Don't, let's get real. I'm human.
Right. Sometimes
I'm very human.
Yes, sometimes I can achieve an 11, and other days it's like -4. It's like,
Yes.
oh my gosh. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just well.
So the imposter syndrome, I mean, that's really all it is. It's just that fear, of not being enough.
Mm-hmm.
And we're enough.
Well, yeah, we
We're
are.
more than enough.
And I don't remember where I heard this so many years ago, but everything we ever wanted is just outside our comfort zone.
Yes, I love that one.
And the fear is going to keep us contained. And so doing the YouTube, well, originally, the original path that we started on with Okichi, he's created some great apps. One's actually like Sports Sage AI. It's a betting predictor, like football, baseball, 80% accuracy. So we thought we'd sell memberships to that. Failed miserably. Had another one for Branson, Venue QR. It's QR code where they could just scan it and do reviews and gain Google, build organic audiences that way. Failed miserably. We're trying to, slinging it against the wall, and nobody wanted it. And what we came up with, I remember this was back in March. We did a Zoom call because I'm back here in Hollister at the time. We did a Zoom call. Courtney's like, Dad, nothing. Nothing's going. Nothing's working. The only thing that's happening is people call me and want me to fix their stuff.
Right.
I said, oh, that's easy. He says, what do you mean? I said, okay, in the 80s, I did this. There was a computer business over here at Plaza Towers called Axcom Computers, and they hired me to be a cyber pimp. Cyber pimp, yes. Walmart down in Arkansas had some big IBM computers that they were trying to get up and online to handle all the warehousing thing. And they needed to find programmers that knew how to communicate between their current platform to the IBM platform. Okay. And we had found programmers that knew how to do that. So I would sell them by the hour to Walmart. And I jokingly named myself the cyber pimp.
Oh.
And I said, son, Daddy's gonna pimp you out.
There you go. There you go.
And that's,
Yeah.
because he, at the time we all had the mindset we needed to create something to sell something to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And which now, with the wisdom of hindsight and knowing Courtney and Taylor's minds, these they're brilliant. And I'm biased because I know I'm related to them, but they are just incredibly brilliant people. And I see how monotonous it would have been to have them just sell and support one product.
Yes.
To help me.
Yeah.
Because they were doing it for me. I know they were trying to make it sound like, Daddy, we're doing this, but no, I know, you can't trick me. Santa knows.
Santa sees you.
And so I said, no, we'll start selling you. So he came up with an hourly rate. He's had to double it a couple times now.
Demand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally get it to where, and he's booked solid. Taylor, his wife, she's got her master's in education. She's booked up. It's just really taking off. Now the YouTube channel is starting to bring in a lot more business.
Good.
So, to the point where we're looking at bringing on other staff. And it's a fun journey. I'm still learning on the YouTube side. As a matter of fact, I opened up a new chapter last week of what we're going to be doing. And stuff, you don't know what you didn't know until you do know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I love the phrase, Curtis, my husband's biological grandfather, was 93 when he died, and he was a World War II vet, Battle of the Bulge. To hear a man of his stature say, the more I know, I don't know. It's like,
exactly.
Yeah, you've taken bullets through the helmet,
Mm-hmm.
to say that,
yeah.
So true.
Yeah,
So
I'm
true.
just worrying about YouTube taglines. I got it.
Yeah,
easy.
right. I know. Different world we're in, right? And
we're not the same.
You're just trying to deal with the meta. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
as you know
So
more.
much out there.
Yeah, you realize how little you do know, and it's fascinating. I'm loving the fact that I can challenge my brain again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really really enjoying that.
So tell me, has microdosing helped with that?
Oh, yes, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
Yes,
tell
I'm
me
sorry, I
that.
didn't realize we bypassed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I discovered so brain meltdown. The diagnosis is some form of PTSD. I know there's all sorts of flavors of it. I had one of them. I can't remember which one it was. And I kept seeing that for PTSD, psilocybins. Harvard and New England Journal of Medicine, they're doing these great.
Yeah,
with,
lots of
with,
research.
With people have real issues. I mean, not that, everybody's issues are bad, but, people that have seen war and coming back with PTSD, and they're going into these, 2-hour, 5-hour sessions, controlled sessions, and seeing 10 years of progress over cognitive behavioral therapy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to try this. And so thankfully, with connections out to Denver, I came in contact, there's a church out there called psilovibe.org. Great bunch of people. They're down by Colorado Springs. And they introduced me to microdosing. So I haven't gone on and done the controlled trip. I would love to do that sometime, and hopefully, in the future I can. I want to do that. That's on my list. And I want to do an ayahuasca retreat. That's on my list. But for me, for now, the microdosing has had a huge impact on being able to rebuild me how I want me to be, because it adds a neuroplasticity to it, but it also, if you've ever had trouble meditating, and it used to aggravate me. You find the space within the space.
Right.
Space right here.
Yeah. As he's giving me 2 fingers.
Yes. In love.
And not the peace sign.
Yeah. No, one each hand. Yeah, the space within the space.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah, it's hard, and meditation looks different for everybody.
Oh my gosh,
looks so different. I love for me what works. Some people say like, you're sitting on a hill and your thoughts, you're watching the traffic going by on the big highway below, and your thoughts are the cars driving by. Like that one I can kind of get behind because there it goes. That one works for me. But there are so many, like it can be challenging.
Yeah,
especially difference from every day to the next.
Oh yeah, it varies. I'm a box breather.
Okay,
For some reason, box breathing works for me. And what I found was with the psilocybin. So if you're microdosing, I'm up to 400 milligrams. You can start off as low as 25. And adjust to whatever works for you. And the church gives you all of the instruction and support that you would need for that. And so what I found for me is on dosing days, it was a lot easier during box breathing to cut out the monkey chatter. And I finally started understanding the space within the space, where you separate away from what's going on to you. Because we make that, wow, I'm going to sound really out there now. We make the mistake of thinking what's going on is us.
No, that's absolutely true.
To me, that's a new revelation. What's going on is not us. We happen to be in it.
We're the observer of it all.
But it's not us. And being able to have that space to observe, to stand back and not be so caught up in it and just observe it, that's freeing. And then, with this new position, the psilocybin, the neuroplasticity, because I do 3 on, 4 off, that neuroplasticity that hangs on, love it, because now you can retain everything. I liken it to, remember the Matrix where they shoved that thing in the back of their head and they could download stuff?
Yes.
It's like that without the shoving. It's
awarenesses. Opens up this.
Well, and retain and connections. You're learning something over here, but then all of a sudden, okay, this connects here and here and here, and it's really helped me to get. I feel like I'm a lot better at what I do than what I should be at my age, and only less than a year along at it. And if Courtney and Taylor were here, I think that they would agree with me on that, because they get shocked at what we find out. But and then it's play. It's all the adventure of learning. You
play is important.
And that's something, before we turned the mic on, something we talked about was the permission to play, the permission to pretend. As Santa Claus, one thing that disturbs me, and I think, Christy, you had a situation too where
let's talk about it.
You were 7 years old, found out that Santa isn't real. That's devastating.
Oh, I'm a truth seeker. Even at that age, So like I remember vaguely, like I don't remember word for word, like for a moment exactly, but I just remember being heartbroken and feeling super deceived, and I just flinging myself on the couch and covering my face. And like, you guys lied to me.
Absolutely.
It was just like, we preach not lying to our children, but yet parents every year put shit under a tree, boxed up and wrapped up pretty, that says from Santa. And it disturbs me a little bit. Can you tell?
No, not at all. Not at all. You seem
maybe there's some of that. I'm still working through some of that.
Seem like you've come to closure with that.
Oh, maybe so.
But no, I'm the same way. I have that struggle, and and that's also why I don't do the mall Santa thing.
Yeah.
I'm really uncomfortable with that. But in situations where the children are like, are you the real Santa? I'm like, I really like Santa Claus. Do you like Santa Claus? You do? Well, you know what? Do you ever pretend? Yeah. do you want to pretend like I'm him? And they're all in.
So beautiful.
You know,
Yeah.
they are all in.
Yeah.
I am not lying to them saying that
Yes.
I am him, but now I'm a playmate. Now I'm, let's play make believe. And then when the transition comes, they've had the pretend, and now they're a Santa's helper. So as they get older, they'll help their brothers and sisters pretend. And then as they move on, since it wasn't a traumatic experience, they'll carry it on, hopefully, the spirit of Claus, the community, the giving.
Connection.
Yeah, not the stuff.
Yeah.
But the memories.
Yeah.
It's the memories that count. And pass that on to their kids. Because I'm like you. Oddly enough, I look like him. I love representing him in the shows and even on the streets if people notice.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fun. Side note, nobody really notices me until about August. I can wander around. I feel like Clark Kent. Nobody recognizes me till.
And then you jump in the phone booth.
Yes. Ta-da! Big SC on my
Yes.
my shirt. But starting around August, you start getting the side eye. As people start thinking about Christmas, it's just
I'm
just
sure.
a funny.
But that's it's the thing though, like
Mhm.
what you're thinking of, like whenever you get a new car and it's different than your other one, and then all you see is the kind of car that you got. It's what we
Absolutely.
focus on expands.
Absolutely, yeah. And then people start saying, and I enjoy it. Little kids will. I had it happen last night. I was heading home and stopped at the gas station. I heard Santa. And it was a little guy, and they were in a Jeep. I have a Jeep. They were in a Jeep.
Nice.
Jeep people are cool.
Jeep people are
They're a fun bunch.
fanatics.
So
do
I
you
wanna-
have ducks? Do you ever get ducked?
No, I am I
You're a duck free Jeep.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
celibate. I don't duck.
No ducking allowed.
No,
for
I've
Santa.
I've been ducked. God bless the duckers. There's duckers, there's
Those
non-duckers.
mother duckers.
Those mother duckers. Yes, and father duckers.
And father duckers.
And whole little bitty duckers too. No, ducking. It's a community bonder.
Yeah.
I tried to
I
get
have
into
a
it.
friend who just, oh my gosh, she's got them all across her whole dashboard. It's cute.
Oh, one of those little guys. I tried it and it melted on my dash. I was like, no,
No, that's
this
just
is
messy.
Yeah, no.
Ducking is messy.
Yeah. Yes. Who's gonna clean that up?
Right?
So, yeah, I don't duck. Nothing wrong with it. I did enjoy. We had last year, not this year's Jeep event in Branson, but the year before, we had the 10-story duck.
The what? 10-story duck?
Yes.
Oh my
An
goodness.
inflatable duck,
Oh,
but it's
wow.
10 stories high.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was cool.
Do you know the story behind why it's a duck?
Yeah, it was. It's actually a story of inclusion.
Okay.
I can't remember her name. She had been to Branson for the original Jeep Branson event. She has since passed. She had an illness, sudden illness, and passed. Younger lady, and we have a bullying society.
Oh gosh. Absolutely.
And she didn't fit the norm of society. But communities like the Jeep community, the car collector community, actually, I'm finding to be a fun, accepting bunch of people.
Nice.
I mean, if they'll let me, Santa Claus judge their car, I mean, anyhow, she owned a Jeep and found a community amongst the Jeep people, and I'm guessing her love language was giving. And that's just a guesstimate on my part, but she decided giving people ducks so that, when you know what it feels like to be alone, I think a lot of us do, we know what it's like to be alone. What if you could do something small to let another eternal soul know they're not alone?
That's beautiful, and that actually leads us right into, like, as Santa, the title of this episode is Santa Saved Me.
He did.
And, you're hearing your story, like it's been one of survival. It's been one of, figuring it out, figuring it out as you go, and trying to find your way back home within over and over again. It
Absolutely.
feels like and sounds like. And I mean, you have the honor and the privilege of being able to hear people's stories and what they want, and
Yes.
but then also on the other side of that is that as we're going into the holidays, this can be one of the most challenging times of year
Very
for
much so.
a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to say? Like, I mean, let's lead into that. Like, how do you want to, as we're gonna kind of start wrapping,
Yeah.
let's talk about that
For
specifically.
yeah, the biggest thing that stands out for me during my darkness, silence kills. We we don't want to be a burden. We don't want to seem odd. Most of the time, if you find yourself at that point, you were, I call it that fucking guy or that fucking gal. I had back in July, I had took a tumble and cut my head open. Had 15 stitches.
I was gonna ask you what that scar
Yeah.
came from. So yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was walking into a Dollar General. I wish I had a great story.
Yeah.
Walking into Dollar General, tripped over the sidewalk, hit the concrete building with my head.
Oh God.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna hit the ground, but my head decided to stop the fall, which was nice. But thankfully, no concussion, no break, no. It just went to the bone. And I'm in the ER, waiting to, the doctor came in and he says, okay, we can stitch your staple. And I said, I'm a professional sandist, so whatever's going to look the less ghoulish, because I know I'm going to have a scar, but I don't want to look terrorized, and I'm afraid the staples might look worse. He says, yeah, we can do stitches. He says, but it's going to take 15 of them at least. I said, let's do that. So he's stitching me up, and he's like, how are you calm? And I said, I'm that fucking guy. And he said, what do you mean? I said, when everything else goes to hell around me, around my family, like my parents passing, my brother passing, or any of that, I'm the one that steps in and takes care of it. And I've noticed, stepping out of that story, I've noticed that the people that are really going through the dark times are the ones that have poured out into everybody else's lives. And now their life is empty, their vessel's empty, and there are people waiting and ready to pour into you.
Yes.
No one's a mind reader. No one knows. And you fake it so well in public. I know because I have. You fake it so well in public, nobody has a clue. So say something. There's phone numbers to call. There's people nearby. Just say something, because it's right there. People do want to help.
And they might be going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm realizing is as I've started to use my voice, and because I can relate to everything you just said, I can be out here in the community and in the public, and nobody would have any idea
Not
of
a
the
clue.
things that I have been juggling, except for those who maybe follow me on Facebook, and I might say just a little tiny bit about it.
Yeah.
And I always put this positive spin, like, well, I'm overcoming it, but the 2 weeks prior to that, you wouldn't want to see me inside my home because I look like I'm going crazy. But the more we start speaking, and the more we start allowing our own vulnerability and authenticity to show through, then the more that gives others permission to do the same. And they realize they aren't alone.
Absolutely.
And that is, I think, with social media and how divisive and how separate, it creates this separation.
Oh, huge.
There's so much more that everybody on this whole planet actually has in common than we realize. And so I want to, illuminate the illusion of separation in this. I mean,
it's a lie.
It is a total lie.
Yeah.
And so I second everything you're saying and plug in. I mean, there are community if you're in the Springfield, Missouri local area, we've got some really amazing little pockets of community that are building in this town. And, Matthew, you've seen this.
Absolutely.
You've seen it firsthand.
Absolutely.
And it's just time. I think that a lot of us are starting to bubble up out from underneath rocks and realize that we aren't alone. So I might be, it's kind of like, hey, anybody there? And then now we're like, okay, where are y'all at? Turn the porch light on. Here we are. Like, show up.
It's kind of like Horton Hears a Who.
Yeah.
You've heard the little noise. Yeah, and you're a brave soul when you reach out, if I can say that.
Yes.
We're so easy to not want to be a burden if we're that of that nature.
Absolutely.
But to actually say, no, I'm not doing well, and then just the joy of finding there are people that are there to be with you. That you're not alone, like you and I have discussed. We're not alone, and that we're here for each other and we can support one another. And what seems like really messed up for you, I'm pretty sure you can find somebody that's done it worse. It's, I love Melissa, my therapist, because she brings so much to the table. Because anything I've ever done, she's, I barely got bronze in it, and she got gold medal. She's a superstar. Love her. So, reach out.
It's beautiful to have people like that in your corner.
It is. It really is.
And we're going to put in the show notes, I'll put information if you want to pass her information around.
I will. I'll do it. I'll send it to you.
I'll get that in there, and also info for Courtney and Taylor.
Yeah, I'll get you the O-Peachy link and all that.
But yeah.
And also Dean Z link.
Yeah, Dean Z link. Anything you want readers to be able to click on.
Yeah, come see the show.
I want to.
Yeah, we are... we've got 16 shows in Branson.
And Dean Z is an Elvis impersonator. I
Yeah.
don't know if
he's actually the ultimate Elvis. He's the Elvis that Graceland uses. We've got 16 shows at Clay Cooper's Theater in Branson. We're doing, I think it's November, right before Thanksgiving. We're doing a show out at Graceland. And then we've got 5 road shows.
Out at Graceland? Down
down.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's so cool. They put me up in the guest house. I feel pretty.
What a great opportunity. Look what reinventing yourself has, what opportunities have brought to you.
Yeah, I first time we did that and I walked into the sound stage, Dean and Steph and everybody started laughing at me because I was total Gomer Pop. Golly.
I know, I bet.
It is so much fun, and they give me a little name tag that you can walk anywhere with that name tag. Oh my God. Remember Fifth Element Multi-Pass? I have my multi. So we did that. And then this year, Dean's actually performing up at the Coronado Theater in Rockford, Illinois, my hometown.
Oh, no way.
So normally
you get to go back home.
I'm working on it. Normally those road trips, they just take whoever's in the bus. I said, dude, I'll drive myself up there. I got,
Get the whole
family.
Theater crew on board to come and be like, ooh, look, Santa's back and Santa's home.
and
Santa's coming.
And come up. I even contacted my barber from up there because she's the one that shaped the beard the first time. So we're going to stop by and see her, when it happens. So December 18th, Rockford, Illinois, Coronado Theater.
Nice.
Hopefully be there.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
That'll be fun. It was fun seeing it go for a circle back to home.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for agreeing to chat with me on all of this stuff and share your story.
Thank you for asking. This is all stuff I have not, it's not stuff you talk about, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we're working on switching that around.
Absolutely. Get more people like this on here.
Absolutely. And then, for those who are listening, if you're in this local area, we have something going on here at the studio every Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. They're all community related. So free class, love offerings, of course, always appreciated for our hosts. But we'd love to have you. So if you're looking for community, you can join our community. There's also a really great community night that happens on the 3rd Thursday of the month over at Soul Farms, which is another really great community to get involved in as well. And it's part of the Psychedelic Society of the Ozarks.
Oh, great group. Yeah. Oh, well, you know my story on that. I went to the event and I joined.
Yes, yes,
Just
you
mosh
immediately
pitted it.
joined.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. But great, wonderful group of people, and next month I hear Santa will be there, so
I hear that. Yeah, who
that'll be
knows?
fun.
Yeah,
Psychedelic Santa.
psychedelic Santa.
That could be my new persona. I love it.
I love it. You have to get a new suit. Maybe not all red, but tie-dyed.
I know. Yeah, I've got the seamstress that can do that for me, Leah.
Ooh, there we
She just, well,
go.
I'm down. I'm 100 pounds lighter than last year. Yeah,
Wow.
and so
Wow.
yeah, and
Good job.
oh, hey, it's
I bet that feels good on your body.
it's been one of those deals as emotionally as all the fake things left, the weight left with it.
Yep. Yep.
So I love it, and I love my Coca-Cola suit that I wear. I love the classic Santa look,
Yeah.
and I just wasn't ready to give it up, and Leah was able to
Take it in.
Yeah.
Good.
But if I'm down another 100 next year, Santa's gonna buy a new suit.
Yeah. I think it'll be time.
That'll be fun.
Awesome. Thanks again, Matthew.
Absolutely.
It
Thank
was
you,
a
Christy.
joy
I have
to
enjoyed
spend
this.
time with
This
you
is
this
fun.
Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys. Well, so this, I guess, really is the very first episode of podcasts that are not about my dad's book. So I look forward to letting this flow and see where it goes, and having someone else on again soon. So until then, I love you. Have a great rest of your day.